Hey. Happy Saturday. How's it going? Welcome to the stream, man. So much chat going on. Thank you so much for being here on this Saturday. This fine Saturday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. If you're new to the stream, welcome. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the stream and you don't know how this usually goes, it's pretty laid back. It's pretty open forum, and we talk about all things tech, homelab, networking, you name it. So if there's something you're excited about, hey, thank you so much. I'll get into events, but thank you. I'll say it now. JDB Net resub Prime 2 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll call them out now. Piece of Geek, dude, thank you so much. Resub, tier 1, 29 months, 29 month streak. Thank you so much. Holy cow, 29 months. I totally agree. Dude, thank you so much. And then Jenna Ryan, thank you so much. How's it going? Tier 1, 27 months. Wow, both of you guys, long streaks, long commitment. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, so if you're like I was saying, if you're new to the stream, pretty laid back. We talk about tech, we talk about homelab, we talk about all kinds of stuff. Stuff that we're interested in, maybe things we're struggling with, or things that we want to share that we're excited about or proud of. Things we've accomplished maybe this week or here shortly in the future. Related to tech, but kind of mostly anything goes. But we try to keep it scoped to tech because we that's what we want. That's what we're here for. And if you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming. So if you have something you want to share, throw it in chat. Let's talk about it. I'll here in a second. I'll start from the top and we'll work our way down, and we'll just have a good stream. Good stream, good vibes. Like last stream. Last stream was fantastic. Got to talk a lot about tech, and I just felt at the end I was like, oh, my nerdy tech heart is just full. Because I don't get to, I get to talk about this a little bit at work, but and then I have some friends here and there I chat about or text, but it's good to just go all in, all nerd, full nerd for, an hour, which is a good point. This runs roughly an hour, so I'm not going to take up too much of your Saturday. So we'll run a little bit over because I started a little bit late. So if you have something you want to share, throw it in chat. Let's chat it up. Let me get into events really quick. I'll just do that because I already called some out, but there was some right before the stream. So Raja Salim, thanks for the follow. Stuck on Linux, thanks for the follow. Biali 187, thanks for the follow. PC Geek again, thanks for the resub. Jay Bennett, thanks for the resub. Jenna Ryan, thanks for the resub again. And then hey, Orbital Teapot, 418. Yeah, 418. I'm a teapot. I like it. HTTP status code of 418. It's legit. It's I'm a teapot, so I like it. Orbital Teapot 418 at the end. That was good, dude. Thank you so much. 1,000 bits, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Wow, that was awesome. Usually I start with the weather. I'm going to start with the weather because things are changing starting today here, at least in Minnesota and Minneapolis. It's we're going through a warm up. Today, it's been like -10, -20 for a couple of days. Now it's starting to warm up. 30 today, 30 and sunny. Tomorrow, 33, 34, and it's going to hang around the 30s, which I'm totally fine with. I'm not ready for 40s and 50s yet because we have like 2 feet of snow. And I want it to just slowly melt, as we'll just slowly melt through February. Then we'll have that random 70-degree February day, and then it'll snow again until, May. But who knows? Hopefully you're getting some decent weather. I know weather everywhere has been crazy. I know, the northeast, so New England, they're getting a lot of crazy cold weather too. And I saw some of their weather reports saying it was going to be wind chill of -50 and up to 100-mile-an-hour winds. I'm like, whoa, that's you're getting a little taste of Minnesota there. 100-mile-an-hour winds, though. That is insane. But anyway, so I hope you're having good weather, and I hope everything's good with you. So let's talk about what you're working on. But right before you do, I'll talk about what I was working on. I don't know if this is a rant or event or whatever, but man, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter or anywhere or Discord or wherever I talk about it. I tend to tell everybody about these kinds of things. Man, I'm having the worst problems ever with my UniFi switch. It's driving me crazy. So I will say that if you are running UniFi switch and you are on the pre-release, or I'll say if you're running the UniFi network application and you use their firewall rules, Do not upgrade to like 7.4. I was on a pre-release from a while ago because I wanted WireGuard, and I forgot to switch it back off. I should have switched it back off, and it's totally jacked up so many things. I'm just gonna be frank with everyone. It jacked up everything. Like, first of all, like I couldn't create new firewall rules. Yeah, that sounds fun. You want your firewall to be read-only for a week? Yeah, upgrade, because that's what will happen. So I couldn't create firewall rules because, off by one errors. I know these errors because I'm a developer too, and if you get the index wrong, that's usually the off by one errors. You either forget to subtract the index or add the index or whatever. So that was one problem. Then I ended up fixing that, and then I was like, great, everything's working great. I can finally save new rules. Well, I can save new rules. But now I can't reorder the rules because it still has that off by one index problem. Driving me insane. So anyways, I don't know. I've been working with their support. It's been kind of slow. I'll be honest. It's been kind of slow. But I guess what do you expect? They're probably fielding a lot of stuff. And at the end of the day, is it my fault for upgrading pre-release? Probably. On a production system, a home production system? Probably. But at the end of the day, like, they released the software, so I assumed it went through some kind of QA. Like, somebody must have had, hopefully, created one firewall rule, created another, and then dragged it above the other one and let go, and hopefully it would have been rearranged. Anyways, that's enough of my ranting. Anyway, so the reason why I bring that up, because right after the stream, I'm taking my whole network down. I'm going to try to restore to a prior version. Hopefully I can go back to an older version. Hopefully I can download my firewall rules and stuff from a prior version and apply that, but it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun at all because it's not like I can, long story, but it's not like I can just revert back to the previous version because my updates will only let me roll back to the current version that I'm on. So I think I have to wipe it, start all over, but then apply my network rules and reapply everything else on top of each other and make sure that I'm not on the pre-release. I don't even know if that's possible. Last time I tried to do this, it went terrible. So anyways, yeah, so I have a couple things going on. So rant off. I get it. Like, they're busy and they're revving really fast, and I do not want to slow down progress. And I told them to, like, do not spend more time on this. If you know the fix, don't spend the time with me with a one-off thing. Fix it for everyone, and I'll just get it then. So anyways, I think that's what they're doing. So they said it's fixed in 7.5. So when we see 7.5, I don't know. All right, I'm going to stop ranting about it because I'm a huge fan of UniFi and Ubiquity and their gear and stuff like that. And this isn't a slam on them. It's a slam on me. So I think I need a weekly reminder to make sure that I'm not on the pre-release because that's how I get in trouble. So anyways, I'll stop ranting about that. And let's see what you guys want to rant about. Hopefully they're not rants. Hopefully you guys got stuff going on that you're happy about, excited about, and that you want to share. So if you want to share, like I said, if you want to share something, throw it in chat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So I'm going to start from the top. Usually we look to see who was here first. I saw who was here first because when I was starting up, I thought in my head, look to see who is here first, just in case the whole Twitch little banner covers stuff up. So real quick, Maxic 2 and Kaitu and Thornity, thanks for the follow. Thank you. Appreciate it all. Thank you so much. Let's see who was here first. I know who was here first, but I also need to click on one other thing so I don't forget something else that I need to keep track of. I have lots of things to keep track of right now. But let's see who was here first. I know who was here. It was Yakto. I saw it. Yakto said, it's still there because the banner's not covering stuff up. Yay. Hooray for the stream. Yeah. Hooray for the stream. I feel that way too. And I feel rushed because I have so much to do after this, but I just need to settle down a little bit. It's hard for me to settle down sometimes because my mind moves faster than my mouth. So I think that's true for most people. Hooray for the stream. I totally agree. I'm going to skip down to here. Xavier said LOL. Yakto LOL. First time yo. This was a yo from Raja Seelan. Thanks. Yo. Hey, Arsling Risa Prime 7 months. Thank you so much. 7-month streak. Back to the sub train. Woo! Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How's it going? I'll swing. I'll swing. That's so hard for me to say. Whenever it gets into a W and an L together, it's like, oh, yeah. Like owl is pretty easy. Maybe I'll just say owl string. Owl string. And then there's the SR too, which is hard for me to say. Those, you have like every consonant clustered together for me. That's hard to say. L, owl string, owl string, owl string. That's what owl string. I'm just gonna throw one of those on it. Strings. Let's see. Rajas, I want to get this right. Rajasilan. I have a peasant homelab networking question. Fire away. I have lots of peasant ones. That's totally fine. We're all peasants together. We all can't eat the cake. Maz is currently the most popular up-to-date metal provisioner. It's a statement, but if that's formed as a question, I think so. There are some alternatives out there. There's this thing called Tinkerbell. I looked at it a little bit, which is trying to be like, piece this all together and really do infrastructure as code and do it in a microservice kind of architecture where you have 3 or 4 different services that make up this one big thing. So, but if that was a question, I think so. I mean, Tinkerbell is another one that's being developed. Foreman was another one I looked at that's kind of maybe still being developed. And then, of course, OpenStack or Red Hat has some stuff as well, but that's with their ecosystem. So, Kilnai, how's it going? And Frenchie, thank you both for the follow. Appreciate it. But if that was a question, then I would say maybe. Because, all of these products are hopefully releasing updates. So, I mean, and then it's going to be up to you. I mean, they could push a commit tomorrow, and then they're the most up to date, one technically, if we're going by commit history. If we look at releases, canonical releases often, semi-often, but open source stuff that's on GitHub, usually smaller stuff releases really fast too. So you'll have to do your own research, but I'm going to say it. The Trodba. You still didn't fix your camel casing, man, or fast cow casing or whatever. Please don't, because now I want to say the Trodba. It's the Retro DBA, but I think I called you the Trodbot for I think at least 2 streams. But Retro DBA, how's it going, man? Yo, finally, how's it going? Cyber Night, Lang, man's howdy. Lots of stuff. PC Geek, lights are working. They are working. So it's blue in here now. This is my Northern Lights theme. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, there's channel points down below. You earn channel points just by being here. They don't cost anything. And then you can change the lights in here, all with code I wrote, running in my Kubernetes cluster in the basement. Oh, which reminds me, as soon as I mention it, I love it. As soon as I mention it, light mode. I have another rant. I'm not going to do the other rant because I already did one rant, and I try not to rant on stuff. But yeah, having some power issues too with my home lab. I keep tripping a GFCI, and I'm trying to track it down. It's happened 2 days in a row at about 7:15, 7:30 in the morning. The last 2 days. I hope it does it again tomorrow at 7:30. But I've looked at every single job I have, and they are totally not. Hey, there's no jobs I have running at 7:15 in the morning. So. Hey, dude, thank you so much. Retired Night Owl. Wow, thank you so much. Gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see. So Retired Night Owl gifted 5 subs to Dizzy's Stimmin. That's tough for me to say. I think words are hard for me to say in general. But I'm going with Dizzy. Nico Nana Kuruma. Neko. No, I'll get this. Neko no Kuruma. The cat's car, because Neko is cat. No means is possessive, and Kuruma means car. So if that's in Japanese, that means the cat's car. Hey, the cat's car. Enjoy your gifted sub from Retired Night Owl. Barracoot, FX Editor, Noise Marine. Enjoy your gifted sub from Retired Night Owl. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And Bengo Iu, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Let's see. Hi, guys. Banana testing. That's my testing for code. Let's see. 18-wheel Ray. How's it going, Ray? Sup, all? I'm on the road this week. Being a voyeur? No, I hope not. Well, hey, be safe out there in many ways. Flowdash, sadly, at work today, doing a copper removal, pulling a 1500 1,500 Cat5e cables and praying we don't cut active cable in the DC's baskets. Hey, yeah, I hope you don't either, and I hope they don't either, and I hope everyone, I mean, you and them, I hope you don't. Dude, thank you, Indiana Joe. Thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you so much. Indiana Joe's. I know a few Joes in Indiana, so I doubt it's them, but hey, thank you so much. And Rando MX user, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Dark mode. All right, let's go dark mode. But yeah, I hope you don't cut the cable. The people consuming these services hope you don't cut the cable. And I'm sorry you have to work on Saturday. But man, I would love to be an expert at pulling and cutting cable. I am not. I wish I were, because then I would do better cabling around here, because mine's pretty jank and I need to run one more cable from in here to my server rack, and I dread doing it, so I keep putting it off. Let's see, Yocto. It largely depends on what your needs are. Oh, this is going back to MAS or bare metal provisioning. There are quite a few bare metal provisioning systems. Canonical MAS is just one of the many options. But for Windows environments, I use SCCM, which is front end for WDS. Yeah, good call. Yeah, good call. So yeah, WDS or SCCM, so System Center Config Management. It's been a while since I've done Windows stuff, but I used to do stuff for SCCM too. I don't know if that's the acronym, but I know what it is. So it's config management, but also then you can layer on WDS or Windows Deployment Services, and then you can deploy Windows machines. So yeah, good call. Like that's the de facto standard. Like if you're in a Microsoft environment or Microsoft shop and you deploy lots of Windows machines, which most organizations do, yeah, WDS is definitely the way to go for sure. And that's, I mean, it towers over any other bare metal provisioning system, just because the amount of Windows machines we have in the enterprise or in the world in general. Yeah, and being able to deploy them automatically is definitely a must in the enterprise. But yeah, good call. I didn't even think to call out WDS and SCCM. Blade, sup y'all? How's it going? Yocto. That being said, my main environment is MAS deployed via Ansible. Nice. Yeah, nice. I didn't know you're running at MAS at home. Or sorry, MAS at YWS out there in the Pacific Northwest. You don't know, Yocto basically has like a data center in his garage. And when I say data center, it's like legit. Orbital Teapot 418. That's probably the smileys for the 418. I got you there on the HTTP status code. I got it there. That's the developer speak for, I don't know what's going on, so let's return to 418 and make the person that's making this call laugh. Let's see, Tech Doofus. Hey, how's it going? The Chordba. Oh, you fixed it. The Retro DBA. You fixed it. Okay. I fixed my display name just for you, homie. I'm still going to say the Chordba because it was like a light bulb went on halfway through the stream when I read it. And I was like trying to sound it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Retro DBA. I should have known this. You could mess with me and make, the H capital, just keep changing the casing all the time. Do some really camel case or reverse camel case or Pascal, reverse Pascal. Just go crazy with it. PC Geek, staying warm and getting better. Had a sinus infection. Oh man, that's too bad. Yeah, that stinks. At least if you're sick, it's not nice out. I know you're out in the New England area, and so you're getting that nasty cold I was talking about, and getting a cold figuratively too, or depending on how you look at it, just getting over being sick. So man, hope you feel better. But hey, if it's not nice outside, it's the perfect time to be sick. I don't know. I don't go outside a lot anyways. I mean, I do if I have to, but it's more fun inside. I don't know. I have fun inside. Don't get me wrong. I love to hike. I love to go on trips. But for some reason, nothing beats just being comfortable. I think that's how a lot of people feel. And I don't mind not feeling comfortable, but I sure do enjoy being at home more than I used to. For sure. J Flow, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Let's see. Spending all my money. I hear you on that. I hear you. I hear you. Well, keep spending your money. I won't get into the economy, but keep spending your money. We need consumers to spend money. That's the latest. That's the latest advice we're getting. We gotta slow down. Yeah, I won't get into finance or anything like that. But hey, I hear you too. I've been spending a lot of money too, and it kind of stinks. Don't get me wrong. I like to have stuff, but the bills be piling up. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu, Mark. Yeah, ohayo gozaimasu to you too. So it must be good morning. For me, it's konnichiwa. It's good afternoon. I don't know why I salute when I say konnichiwa, but I'm going to. Ohayo gozaimasu to you too. Good morning in Japanese. Yakto, running some Ansible to get my graphics servers ready to deploy graphics-backed instances. All right, man. Yeah, YWS out there in the Pacific Northwest. Now we're gonna get video accelerated virtual machines. All right, all right. He gave me a login too. I'm serious. He's running his own data center, and he's even providing virtual environments for those who may not be able to have one. So I'm not advertising, but he did say it. So I'm not signing you up for something you didn't already mention. But yeah, super awesome. Hey, Wicked Nasty Gaming, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Blade, of course, I screwed up and I don't have the right breakout cables for these hard drives that I bought. Hey, sounds like me and my buddy at work last week. Same. I wasn't breakout cables, but it was Molex converters and pins and stuff. And I had to spend 5 times what I normally would spend on them because, just because things are more expensive now, on top of them being old Molex connectors and converters. And then I had to wait for them. But yeah, I feel you, and that stinks when you're one part short of starting the job or finishing the job. Either way, but for me, it stinks. Yeah, I think it stinks a little bit more when you need to finish a job and you're one part less. Then again, that last step. But I don't know. For me, maybe it's starting the job. Starting the job without the right parts kind of stinks, because then you just have to shelf all that work for some other time. But well, I don't know. I assume it's breakout cable, so it's going to be for an HBA or for a backplane, and not necessarily as something as simple as a Molex. Because I was going to say, hey, if Micro Center's by, you could stop by there and pick up your free hard drive while you're there. Anyways, but man, hope you get it soon. Flo Dash also moved. So need to set up my second home lab? Question mark? Yes. If that was a question, even if it was a statement, it's yes. Any ideas on have a 2-site home lab? What kind of redundancy can I do? Site-to-site VPN? Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. You have so many options. And so when you think of so if you're talking about having 2 remote sites and what can you do with it? I mean, this is very similar to a hybrid cloud approach or a multi-cloud approach. I mean, basically, that's what you have. You have 2 mini clouds, right? And so what can you do? Well, you could have services running at one location and another location. Yes, you could do a site-to-site VPN so those 2 sites can talk. I mean, I know it's home, but I'm going to talk about them like they're data centers or sites or remote sites. A site-to-site VPN for them to talk, or tunnels, or however you want to do it. But the one challenge you're going to run into is where do you put your load balancer? And this is something I struggle with too, is when I start doing hybrid cloud, is where do you put your load balancer? Do you put your load balancer at site A and then, route all your traffic to site A? And then if that's down, well, you can't send anything to site B. And so that is a good case to say, well, you can't put it on site B either. So you have to come up with a site C. You have to come up with a site C, and maybe that's the cloud, and you put your load balancer in the cloud. So you send all your traffic to the cloud load balancer, and then that sends it down. And so then if that site's down, well, it can send the traffic to the other site. But yeah, lots you can do. I mean, you're moving, so this is temporary, but if it wasn't moving, I would say do offsite backups. Or maybe you want to do offsite backups while you're moving. I mean, if you're going to set up something, rsync stuff back and forth, or if you're using ZFS or TrueNAS, make snapshots and do it over the internet. Well, not over the internet. Well, you have to, but through a tunnel or something like that, something secure. But yeah, backup stuff. I mean, what if, heaven forbid, site A burns down, while you're moving to site B? That would really stink. Hey, we can't close. The house burned down. Oh, what do you even do then? I have no idea. Sure, there's a clause for that in closing, but yeah, so many things you can do. But your biggest challenge is going to be networking. It's going to be networking. It's going to be load balancing. It's going to be DNS. It's going to be stuff you have to figure out in the cloud, or stuff you have to figure out when you're a multi-site like environment or a corporation or small business. You got to figure this stuff out. But yeah, for sure. Alex, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Burger Cut. Thanks. Hi. How's it going? Blade, set up site-to-site VPN, have remote backups of each other. Yeah, man, that's what I was talking about too. Pro Cheeseburger in his house. What's up, man? Let's go. How's it going, man? Pro Cheeseburger, all up in the house. How's it going, man? I don't know why I got having like flashbacks to early 2000s. Orbital Teapot, working on a new feature for backend service, making a driver for my wife's tea temperature monitoring station. Whoa, making a driver for it? I don't even. That's pretty low level stuff. So pretty awesome. So working on a new feature for a backend service, making a driver for my wife's tea temperature monitoring station. That sounds awesome. So I assume this web service is going to communicate with that station, and then you can hit that web service with something else like Home Assistant or an app or anything, a REST client, and then get a response back to see how hot the tea is. Hey, I like it. Where there's a will, there is a way. Lord Harlock, trying to install Proxmox on an SSD on a Dell R720. Awesome. Well, good luck. It should be fine. That's fine. I mean, it's all good. I'm sure you're not worried. You're just stating what you're doing. All good. 720. It's a lot of compute. It's a lot of power. Compute-wise, you can get a lot of RAM in there. And yes, you want SSDs. Go SSDs every time that you can, because you'll, thank yourself later instead of pulling your hair out. But yeah, sounds awesome. 720, Dell 720, one of the most popular rack mount servers I think that people have in their home labs right now, for sure. But yeah, sounds awesome. Sounds like fun. So if you're doing the install, that means you got lots of fun ahead of you. It's all the fun stuff. Lord Harlock, but I'm failing miserably. Oh man, I didn't go right. I should have read up a little bit. I should have read the next thing. But you're failing miserably. Well, that stinks. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. You know, you pop in all your hardware. You load Proxmox up on a disk or either through iDRAC or some kind of IPMI, probably iDRAC, and then pop in the virtual ISO and install it. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. It depends on where your SSD is and how it's connected, but it should be fine. Should be good. Akash, the bloop. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. The Trodba. Here comes the drop. Oh, no drop. I think you're talking about a couple weeks ago. It was insane. Or was that last week? I don't know. Time is hard for me lately. I think time's hard for a lot of people, but really is for me lately. Let's see. Raja Seelan. Yakto agreed. Kate's people are reinventing the wheel again with Tinkerbell. Yeah. Okay. So, I didn't know the background of that. It was probably people who were, interested in Kubernetes or infrastructure as code. So they're like, hey, well, let's iron out this first mile in this whole entire process. And I mean, maybe they are. I was talking about Tinkerbell earlier. Maybe they are. I mean, this is a tough problem to solve. And a lot of people think it's solved already, but we've solved it in a different way. And so I think what Tinkerbell's doing is trying to truly do infrastructure as code, is spin up some services, define what these machines should be and what images they should have, define everything about that image, and then commit that or push that or apply that to some backplane or some control and have that do the work. And basically, like a lot of infrastructure as code, you state your defined state or your desired state, and then you let, automation do the work. And so I think it's cool. Like if they get to that point, I'm in, because it's a hard problem to solve. Even with Mass, it's a hard problem to solve. Mass does support Terraform. I haven't done it yet. I want to do it because as much as I like, clicking through the UI, I'd rather not click through the UI. I mean, it's great that it's there, especially for discovery and like understanding how things kind of work. But after you understand how it works, if you could do something like Terraform, which I think you can, that would be great, because then you could just say, Terraform apply and go and build out your machines. So kind of where I get. That's kind of where I want to go, but I'm like stuck on my firewall and it's killing me. And so that's why, anyways, my rant earlier about my firewall, I'm gonna attempt to redo it today. Like when the stream ends, I will be offline because of that, because it's driving me nuts, because it's a non-starter for every single thing I need to do. Anyways, I'm rant off. I'm not talking about that anymore. I'll save my frustration for about an hour from now. Retro DBA, display should change. All right. Display should change. Wait, in here? I think so. Well, Penguin Airlines, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Hey guys, hope all is well. I can't stay long since I'm cramming for my AWS Solution Architect exam. Congratulations, man. Congrats to you. That's awesome. That you're going after an AWS certification. Awesome. Valuable. Popular. Yeah. Awesome, man. Congrats for you. That's awesome. Good to see you too, man. It's been a while. Retro DBA, there we go. It's probably the flashing, and the lights. Dewey Finster, need to finish an especially awkward PoE UniFi G4 Pro cable run. Not sure if I'll bother with it this weekend or not. Oh yeah, I hear you. I've been there. I have a couple of cable runs that I'm like, not gonna do it this weekend. I have a couple G3 Flex cameras that I want mounted in a certain place, and it just keeps going down in the priority list. So, hey, that's all right. You can take a weekend off. We'll give it to you. Alfie Tross, how's it going? I put Tinkerbell into Google, yeah, and tried to find it, and had to add Kubernetes to get the right results. Hey, COE. I'm going with COE. COMGen. It's either ComGen or COEMGen 92. Hey, thanks for the sub. Prime sub, 2 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alfie, I know what you mean. Yeah, Tinkerbell definitely needs better SEO or different SEO. Or Google needs to learn more about what you're doing, and then it will suggest the right thing. Maybe that's the right answer. I mean, Google should already know. Dippa. Thanks for the follow. I mean, Google should already know. I mean, if you're searching for Tinkerbell, you're probably not searching for the Disney character. You're probably searching for something in tech, but, you know, it's probably weighted very heavily on Tinkerbell, the other Tinkerbell, and not the technology. But anyways, SEO is hard. SEO is hard. Like when you pick a product in the future, especially a tech product, you either got to come up with a weird name or a weird spelling or something that's, you know, rarely used, which is going to be hard because most things I feel like are taken until you see something new and you're like, I have no idea what that is. Like Kubernetes when that came out, I was like, I don't even know how to say it or if I'm saying it right. Great SEO because it's a new word, but yeah, bad SEO for Tinkerbell, at least for a while. I mean, Rancher had the same problem. Every time I searched Rancher, it was showing me, you know, dude ranches and stuff like that, like real ranchers. Like I remember Googling the system requirements for a rancher. I said, what are the minimum requirements for a rancher? And it told me at least a high school education. You know, because it thought I meant, you know, a real ranch or a ranch hand and not necessarily the tech. Anyways, but yeah. If you Google, I had to do Tinkerbell and bare metal. That could get weird too, but let me know how that works out. Raha. I'm going to change this every time. I'm going with Raja Seelan. Anyone can recommend a peasant networking config for Proxmox. I can't see the rest. It was probably a link in there. A peasant networking config. Yeah, I don't know what you're asking, but I assume you mean like, can someone recommend like a beginner network config for Proxmox? And I would just say like, hey, 2 NICs, one for your admin and one for all your egress and ingress. You know, you're basically your route. You don't even need 2. You could use it on one NIC. You know, as long as they're all going to be on the same subnet, or you're going to put a trunk port in there with VLANs. So many ways. I'd say 1 NIC, flat network to get started if you're new. That would be my peasant networking config for sure. Let's see. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. 3 Pork Chop Express. All right. I've never been in the lobby before the stream starts and the music is getting me amped. All right. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Howdy peeps. Hello everyone. All right. I'm cruising through these. I'm gonna try to catch up to where we are. I'm getting there. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because my glass, I had the glass up. Let's see. Alfie going to be converting my NAS from a full server for doing other stuff. Nice. Trying to decide between Proxmox and TrueNAS Scale. We'll probably use Proxmox because I have TrueNAS Core as a VM to run the NAS. Not too sure if there's any reason to choose TrueNAS Scale as a base over Proxmox. Yeah, I run into this, and I've run into this so many times. I mean, I've made this decision 3 times now. 3 times. You know, do I run TrueNAS bare metal, or do I virtualize it? And that decision led me down the same path every time, because I have to ask myself, you know, what's its main purpose? Like, what is this device's main purpose? Like, what do I want to get out of it? And most of the time for me, it's like, hey, I want it to be a hypervisor, you know, and then that kind of sets, you know, the course for everything else. Because in my eyes, I think Proxmox, and I think a lot of people agree, is a better hypervisor. I mean, it uses KVM, it has a great UI, and they have a lot of features that VMware has, right? And so I feel like a hypervisor first. Of course, you can do ZFS, and you can spin up, you know, LXC containers and try to turn it into a NAS. Totally doable. But it's not a great NAS. You know, it's not a great NAS, and it doesn't have apps, and, you know, it doesn't have a lot of things that TrueNAS has. You know, iSCSI support, NFS support. I mean, you got to roll all of that yourself. And then you don't have a great GUI to manage it all. It's all, you know, just as if you're running VMs or LXCs, however you want to look at it. So in my mind, it's like, hey, do I wanna, is this a hypervisor first or storage solution first? And so every time I think about that, for me, for what I want to do and being able to, you know, play with lots of stuff and deploy lots of stuff and tear down lots of stuff, for me, it's always like hypervisor first. And then once I go down that path, I'm like, okay, you know, I don't necessarily want to dedicate another machine that's on 24/7 just to be my NAS. And air quotes on that, because NAS plays a very important role in your infrastructure and a very important role for all of your data and everything, all of your storage on your network. But for me, it's like, okay, well, if I'm not using the hypervisor piece of TrueNAS, then I'll just virtualize it because, you know, because I can. Because why not? I guess. And for me, it's like I don't want to have another machine on 24/7. There are tons of caveats with that, and a lot of people have no problem running it bare metal. I had to make that decision once again when I got my Stornator, and I thought I was going to go bare metal, and I ended up saying, you know what? If I go bare metal with this Stornator, I'm leaving so much compute on the table, you know, for other things. And so I just loaded it up and I stacked it with SSDs and RAM and just made it exactly like my other one-use servers, spec-wise, and then moved TrueNAS to it. Because it has a large backplane for drives. So that was how I justified it. Anyways, I've been down that path so many times, and I keep thinking like maybe next time I'll have a different opinion. But I don't. Because if I were to do, you know, a standalone NAS, I want it to be the bare minimum. Besides drives, I'd want it to be the bare minimum compute, bare minimum RAM. I mean, low power if I can. Just because the thing's running 24/7 with a lot of drives. And so for me, it's like, well, if I don't have the hardware to do the bare minimum, then I'm just going to make it a hypervisor and put TrueNAS in there. So it's probably an unpopular opinion. I know that it can be sometimes, but and it's probably not, you know, if you're a small business or something, or a normal person, whatever that is, you might not do it, but I do, because, you know, I just don't want another machine on all the time. And I don't want to buy hardware to do that too, because that opens up another can of worms. Well, buy some new hardware, and how do I fit 16 drives in it? Well, I can't. And then I end up back in the same decision tree that I'm in right now. All right, I feel like I'm on repeat because I'm like thinking through the different possibilities, but I hear you, man. I should have just said, I hear you. Xavius, finally moved into my new 3-bedroom apartment, two-bath apartment. That means I have to start my to-do list now. Yeah. I mean, just getting there is half the fun, probably a tenth of the fun. But yeah, man, got to get on that to-do list, and hopefully you have all your servers up. I'm sure you do. I mean, you have the same priorities I do. You know, technology first. You know, bed and places and eating second, or something like that. Let's see. Dewey Finster installed paperless NGX recently, customizing it so I get the file layout I had before. Liking it's easy to ingest. Need to build up a neural net to tag better. Awesome. Yes. So doing paperless. So you're, I assume, scanning and creating documents and creating an archive in a library. And awesome. By the way, that is awesome. I should be doing that more. I just have folders. I take pictures of stuff and email it to myself or text it to myself or keep it in my camera roll and think I emailed it to myself. So yeah, that sounds like awesome because then it's one place to put it and you can do it over the web and you don't have to wait later. Because anytime I try to do stuff later, like I take pictures of receipts or tracking and I'm like, yeah, it's in my camera roll. If I ever need to look at it, I could go back. I would love to just, have a system to put that somewhere right away, with an app and say, oh, it's there. Don't need to think about it because I just did the work and now I know where it is. And then saying you want to build up a neural network to tag better, I assume you're going to use AI or something, deep learning to scan through all of the documents and look for, I assume, certain keywords so it could recognize, hey, this is financial versus this is health or something like that. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. I'm picking up what you're laying down. That sounds pretty cool to work through. Cloudless TV. Where'd you get the hoodie? Love it. Docker. Hey, wrong one. Wrong chest area. Docker. They sent it to me. Yeah, they sent me this, and they sent me like a little plushie of. Oh, I should know his name. Moby. I was gonna say Whaley. Moby is the name of the whale. Their logo. But yeah, they sent me this and plushie, and I was gonna send out a tweet soon. I had an idea for it that was kind of nerdy at the same time, but I just haven't done it yet. So look for that. It's gonna be super nerdy. Hopefully, I can pull it off right. But yeah, they sent it to me. It's super awesome that they did that. No route. If you want to see some fiber spaghetti, come over to the Home Labs channel in Discord. 2 of those fibers are mine. I got to see fiber spaghetti. I want to see this. I want to see it. I didn't see it yet this morning. If it was there this morning. Geeky Rand, how's it going, man? Just replaced a laptop screen for the first time. Ooh, yeah. I've done that one time. Maybe once or twice. Old laptops. But man, I couldn't imagine on a newer laptop for sure. Because like the older laptop I had, I didn't even have a webcam built in. I mean, the last time I did it, it was an old one at the time too. A lot less to worry about because they're a lot bulkier. But ooh, man, that's tough. I don't think I've ever put a laptop or a tablet back together, or a phone back together without a few extra screws. So if you ended up with 0 screws at the end, you are doing okay, regardless if the screen works or not. But awesome, man. That doesn't sound fun. It doesn't, I mean, it kind of sounds a little bit fun, but very, very precise work. Lord Harlock, Techno 10 purchased a Dell R720, added an SSD, and I'm trying to install Proximox. This is going back to that, and failing horribly. Failing horribly. Tell me why. Tell me how so we can help you. Lagmans, hi Tim. Last week, I was at a visitor's day at a few universities, and I have a question. Oh gosh. Oh, sounds formal. I hope. I know a lot from both networking and programming, but I kind of struggle with deciding what I should choose. Is home office really for programmers only? Wait, is home office really for programmers or only, or can a network engineer work from a home office too? What do you recommend thinking about when deciding about these two fields to study? Which programming languages or networking skills are most useful in the real world of IT? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I can speak for software engineering. I think other people can probably speak for networking. If I was going to speak for networking, I would, in my head I would just think like, hey, there's Cisco, there's Fortinet stuff. There's lots of stuff. But there are a few winners in this area, and there are a few big ones in this area, a few big players that I don't think you can go wrong with. But then, there's so many facets to it too. Is it edge firewall networking, or is it internal, networking or switches or cabling? A lot to go there. So I don't have a lot of real world experience with it besides me climbing around in my attic and doing it in tech support probably 15 years ago. So it's been a while, but, so, I mean, all good. I can't speak for like, hey, will you be able to work from home? I think that's kind of what you were mentioning in your question is, do you get to work from home or not? It depends. It depends. But anyways, I can speak from the network or from the software engineering side. I do think it's a great skill to pick up, even if you decide to go into networking. I still think it's great to pick up a programming language, whether it be Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, Go, whatever. Any 4 of those, I think you'll be fantastic. And I think anyone who knows a little bit of programming is going to excel anywhere that they go, just because everything's turning into code, whether it be YAML or whether it be a specific language. A lot of people are starting to define everything as code, and less button clicking and more automation and more deployments faster, and more repeatable deployments faster. And so, while their, UIs aren't getting replaced everywhere, but they're starting to be, because if you can start to, commit that as code and push it up and have some system check it and deploy it out, that's kind of where people can go. And then you can revert, you can track your work, you can have people approve your work. And so bringing in like this whole like software engineering culture to the rest of infrastructure, I think is fantastic. I mean, it's the same thing people are already doing with Kubernetes, and a lot of it, this networking or config has been done a lot through CLI in the past too, with even Cisco stuff. But a lot, now people, instead of writing CLI commands, they're starting to write a manifest, whether that be YAML or JSON or whatever. They're writing some kind of structured, config, and then applying that. But anyways, so going back, I don't know what's most useful in the real world. I know, at least personally speaking, the world needs a lot of software engineers. I know that for sure. And I'm pretty sure, even though I'm not in that market, I'm pretty sure the world needs lots of network engineers too. So I would say go with what you're most passionate about, or for, I guess I should say. Or do like me, choose one for a career and one for a hobby. And I don't know. It's a great question. I personally, I mean, because I am a software engineer, that's what I do day in and day out. I think it's a great skill to learn, no matter what. And they're they pay great, and they're needed everywhere. So, anyways, that's a long-winded answer to like, hey, I think software engineering is pretty cool. But you have so much time to figure that out. I mean, I get it. You're starting in college or university, and you want to kind of have your career path carved out. But, I started college and I had my career path carved out, and I did something totally different. And I'm doing this now along with something totally different. So I think you'll figure it out, and you'll gravitate towards what you like. Take some general courses first year, and then just go deep on something you really like. And I think that's the only way, because it's one thing to have an idea of what you like before you've actually done it. And then there's, hey, I do actually like doing this. I took programming in college. I didn't like it. I didn't. It was way too low level, and it was, they were teaching me old programming. Not that I knew that it was old, but the courses that they were teaching, I wasn't going to go out and like write some C++ and do some assembly code like at home. I could have probably. And then started getting into VB stuff, and I was just kind of like, I don't know if I like this aspect of it. But, fast forward, 5 to 10 years later, and I'm in the enterprise, and now I'm like, okay, now I want to do .NET. Now I want to do C#. Now I want to do JavaScript and TypeScript and, Go and whatever else, and Java and you name it, all the ones I've done, Kotlin. And so, your opinion about those things can change. Anyways, long story short, I would say gravitate towards what you like. Pick some general stuff and then go deep later. Anyways, Rand MC, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. MJ Mammoth, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Defano Panon. I'm sure this is a name that I'm screwing up, but hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. And Dippa Dooey Papa. I already said that one. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Geeky Rand, only one extra part. Hey man, you're doing way better than me. One extra part, that's an A+. A+ in my book. If you take anything apart and you only have one extra part, it's that's why they included it, just in case. Oh, I usually have more than one, and I'm like too lazy to like take it back apart and put it together. Seagoer, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Let's see. Zephyrin, Techno Tim, good evening. Any idea when a Raspberry Pi will be back to normal supply again? I have no idea. and it's all over the place. And even like all these Pi Finder things are wrong. Like, I have no idea. I saw that some people, and this is not me like promoting it, but I saw that, Crosstalks, he was able to go to Micro Center, I think in Texas. Was it Texas? I don't remember. Anyways, he went to the one and he was able to pick up like 2. And meanwhile, all the Pi Finder stuff didn't even include or say that they were in stock. So I don't know. If you know someone that sells them locally, that's going to be your best bet. If you have someone you can buy them locally, that's going to be your best bet, because the bots are buying up the other stuff. The bots are buying up the other stuff, or people are buying up the other stuff that are using bots to know when they're in. So your best bet is to go to a local store. If you have local stores that sell them, get there when they open. I'm not saying like camp out, but maybe you want to figure out when stock comes back in. Some stores, it's random and they don't know, and that's fine. But some stores say, hey, we usually get shipments on Thursdays. Go to that store Thursday, 5 minutes before they're open, be the first person in. That's my only advice. I mean, never rule out brick and mortar. I know a lot of people like to go digital and shop online, but that's why you can sometimes get them at brick and mortar. So, but yeah, I don't know. Micro Center still gets some in every now and then. I don't know if you have one in your area. Might be worth driving to one day if you have one relatively close. Nobi, Ryu, good morning all. Good morning to you too. Or good evening. Let's see, Lagman. Also, running new Ethernet cables around the house and finishing my custom build boiler controller. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I have a boiler. I'm scared to touch it. That's awesome. That is awesome. I have a thermostat hooked up to it, but I'm curious what you're doing for the custom build boiler controller. This is sounding interesting, because I have a controller that just came with the thing that then connects to a thermostat. So sounds interesting for sure. Let's see. Oh, Kiki Ran. Hey, anyone can work from home if the environment supports it. Yeah, good call too. Good call. I like how you're already thinking about working from home too, and you haven't even started college yet. Yeah, I like it. My requirement going into college, I got to be able to work from home. I like it. But hey, if that's what you want to do, absolutely go for it. I really enjoy working from home because I'm super efficient. I would just say, I said this twice this week, is that, every time I drive into work, I lose 2 hours. Between getting ready, commuting there and back. I lose 2 hours of my day. And it's kind of like, could I spend that 2 hours elsewhere? Yeah, absolutely I could, and I do. Anyways, Geek Almighty, finally got into Proxmox about a month ago, ended up with a 5-node cluster and got rid of all my self-built Arch-based hypervisors. Wow, that is interesting. A month ago, and you're already at 5 nodes. Oh, I love it. Are they like the tiny micro nodes? Are they low power nodes? Or are they straight up big beefy servers? Because that sounds awesome. Man, you scaled up fast. A month ago, Proxmox, and now you have 5. I like it. Yeah, I'm curious, what the build is, what the specs are, and if you're doing like HA stuff, if you're doing HA virtual machines, or if you're treating them all like cattle and doing HA services. I'm curious. Briffion, that's where I'm going away on business trip soon. Curious what the tech people tend to take with them. Maybe something are home. Maybe some people are home labbing on the go. Yeah. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but every time I travel, I do take some tech with me. Obviously, I take my laptop with me. I take a router with me. I always take a router with me. I have an old one, but I take a router with me that has the same exact SSID that I have at home, with the same password. It makes it real easy to travel. I don't have to reconfigure anything, or my wife or my phone or anything. So every time we travel, Airbnb, whatever, bring a router with me, same SSID, same password. It's like this big. It's my old one before I went all in with like individual pieces. And I tuck that in my bag, and it's super easy. And it's awesome, because then it's like my laptop, my phone, her laptop, everything is just like, hey, I'm at home, no problem. And then I VPN back here from there. So that's one thing I always take with me. Obviously, I just said my phone. I just said my laptop. I do take a camera with me, especially in an Airbnb. Like I said, I bring a tablet. So tablet, phone, laptop, router. And because I am bringing so much stuff with me and my wife has almost the same amount of devices, then I bring a small camera with me too. I'm just like, okay, I have a tiny Wise camera. It's cloud-based, but totally fine. Totally fine. I know. It's cloud-based. I know. Calm down. But I do bring it was cheap. It was like, I'll get a Wise camera, 20, 30 bucks. I'll plug it in, and that's my home security when I'm away. Maybe I'm going overboard. But it's pretty awesome to be able to have one. And then I set, motion detection and noise detection. Then I know, like, is someone creeping up in my house and creeping up in my Airbnb while I'm gone or anything like that. So it's a cheap solution. I never touch it. It's in my travel bag always. It's right in it's a toiletry bag that I converted to my tech travel case. And I always put that in there. And plus we have dogs too. So when we travel with dogs, it's nice to bring it too so that I can look at them or see if they're barking or whatever. So yeah, that pretty much boils it down for me. I don't bring anything that I could possibly remote into, like servers. Obviously, I can WireGuard or VPN into home and then do what I need to do. But that's me. I mean, it's pretty typical. So I would say everything I mentioned is pretty typical except for the router. That's the one thing I bring with me, the router and a Wisecam. Sometimes I bring a Raspberry Pi that also has Plex too. But that's in there just in case. So I can connect home to my Plex and watch stuff. That's if I can get to the HDMI plug. So I've done this a few times, so I know what to bring. But yeah, and then it's a charger that's all like USB A and C, so I can plug every single device into it at the same time. I actually have one right there, and I have one by my bed, and so that's what I throw in the bag too. Maybe I'll list it all out. I know if JC Extra was here right now, she'd be like, you still haven't told me about your everyday carry bag. And it's not my everyday carry bag, but it's my tech travel carry bag because I don't carry a bag every day. But I should list it out someday. And maybe I will. But yeah, no, good question. People ask me this every now and then. But yeah, it's nice to actually think about that. But it might be something you want to think about. And actually, I'll have something coming soon on the whole travel router. But it's awesome. It's awesome bringing a travel router, especially if it's one you don't use anymore that's in a bin and you're just like, I keep this just in case. Bring it with you and set your SSID and password to the same one you have at home. And then magically, every time you travel, you'll always have connectivity and all your devices will connect. And then, like I said, then I VPN into home, and that might be something you want to do too. So I don't know. I don't trust a lot of people's networks, especially Airbnbs and stuff like that. I mean, I think I trust Airbnb networks a little bit more than public, like Wi-Fi networks, like if you're at a conference and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, good question. Nobi, just an FYI, I hate moving to a media server software. Lots of scanning files. Yeah, I do too. It's been a while since I've had to do that. I've had to migrate my Plex multiple times. But I mean, I've been doing, this whole like home media thing for a long time. Like I used to use Windows XP Media Center Edition. Remember that? I ran it. Then Vista came out with their Media Center Edition. Ran it. Windows 8 then had Media Center Edition that you could kind of buy or they gave to you for free. Ran it. Because for a while, Windows XP Media Center Edition for me, or Media Center from Microsoft on Windows, was like the best interface, the easiest to use. Codec support was terrible. But I could record TV, and that's always been a huge requirement for me, was recording over the air TV, as it is now with Plex. And it's, that's a huge reason why I still stay with Plex, is because I've looked at other solutions, EPG or their electronic programming guide, and they're all pretty bad. And I rely on that because, like, if Survivor doesn't record, I'm going to hear about it. If Big Brother doesn't record, I'm going to hear about it. So I need something I can depend on. So anyways, I haven't moved solutions lately. I've been on Plex for a long time, but I have moved my Plex instance, and that's painful too. But at the end of the day, as long as I move my database and the folders, like, I don't have to rescan. But matching is the hard part. Scanning's the easy part. You just click a button. Voronsky, has anyone looked into what exactly goes into setting up your own fiber connection? I've been daydreaming about how cool it would be to own your own fiber. I haven't. I mean, I have fiber in my house, but I don't know if you mean like doing anything other than like, SFP plus, modules or GBICs and converting it to fiber, because that's about all I've done. But no, I haven't done anything super cool with fiber, and just uplinks to other switches. I haven't done anything cool like GBIC or like fiber channel for a SAN or anything like that. No, I haven't. Not for me. But I am curious too. Yeah, throw it out there. PC Geek, we're getting 50 Wednesday. Oh yeah, man. Oh, here comes spring. It's coming. Finally, I can go outside and clean up dog poop. I hear you. I have that job, but I do it over time. I learn not to just let it sit until the spring. But I take the easy route. So I have 2 little dogs. They're very little. They're both Chihuahuas, mixes, and they're about this high. And so what I do is I shovel the whole entire yard. Well, I shovel paths for them, lots of paths. So lots of race tracks and crisscrosses so they can go, and they have lots of corners to pee on and poop on. Sounds weird, but I do. Every time it snows, I go shovel the same path. Well, they always poop and pee on the path, so when I'm shoveling, it's 2 for 1, because I have to shovel a path for them, because, like, if it snows 4 inches, it's up to their chest, so they're like, I can't even do my business, And so, I shovel for them, and because they poop and pee in those paths, I shovel the poop and pee all the time, too. But it hasn't snowed in a while, so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing probably later on today, too, is it's been a while, and it hasn't snowed, so it's building up, but use a shovel. It makes it so easy. Just shovel your yard. Sometimes in Minnesota here, I get bored too. About March, I get kind of bored and stir crazy, and I start shoveling my yard just because I want the grass to start growing. And my neighbors are probably like, "What is this guy doing? He's like shoveling his whole yard." But I have every year. I'm just like, I'm done with snow. I'm just shoveling it and throwing it somewhere else. Anyways. Lord Harlock, Xavier's D installation completed successfully, but on reboot, Proxmox fails to boot. It's got to be UEFI. It's got to be UEFI or not UEFI, one or the other. So it's got to be something in your BIOS. But Xavier's D knows Proxmox on 720s really well, for sure, absolutely. Snow is melting, and I can see it. Oh, yeah, it's coming. The Retro DBA, the one gets it. Yeah, Max LOL. Sorry. Xavius. Holy heck, 32 here. I just took a look at my phone. What's up with Minnesota, North Dakota weather? Yeah, I was looking too. We're 29 here. Yeah, I knew it was coming. And it's so weird. Yesterday, it was negative 20 at night. So the night before, like it was negative 20, but just during the night, like, for about, 6 hours. Like it came in and went from -2 to like negative 20. And then by the time we woke up, it's back to -2. And now we're at 32. So that's a, almost 50-degree swing. So it's pretty wild weather we're having. SME Productions, 0 wind chill. All right, yeah, that's rookie. Those are rookie numbers. I'm teasing. If you're not used to it, it's not rookie numbers. But Minnesota, that's rookie numbers. I'm teasing. Kronos, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Raja Sealand. How do you find time for so many things? Home lab, software engineering, life. I don't. I don't know. A lot of people ask me. This. People ask me this when I'm doing home lab stuff. They're like, "How do you still have time for work?" And when I'm at work, they're like, "How do you have time for YouTube and all this stuff?" I honestly don't. I don't have time for it, and things fall through the cracks. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't. I make time for it, and it's not fair always to my wife or to my dogs or to a lot of people. But I do it, and so I'll be completely honest with you. It's tough. Yeah, it's real tough. But I don't know. I enjoy doing both things very much. I'm deeply committed to being a software engineer at work, and I love the work that I do. I truly do love building software, building solutions, figuring out new problems, carving a path, through a really tough problem, and laying some stuff down or making things work, and then doing things outside of there too at work. Is just playing every role that I can. I absolutely love it. So, the smaller the company, the better, because, I have more clearance to do things. I have more breathing room to do some stuff. And then at home, at home lab, it's kind of the same. I don't know. Someday I'm gonna have to decide, which which is it gonna be, or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe I put cruise control on in one, or turn the accelerator down for one or the other. I don't know, but I think not having kids helps. I would say it does. So I don't have kids, so I think that helps. But then again, it's like there are only 24 hours in the day, and so kids, I get it, fill up a ton of time. But at the end of the day, everyone has 24 hours in one day, so I don't know. That's a tough question. It's a tough question, but I'm not gonna lie. It's tough. It's a lot of work. Things fall through the cracks, and I'm probably missing out on something I haven't done yet. So I don't know, but it's tough for sure. It's tough. Retro DBA, Geeky Ran. Daughter was trying to play outside and told me, too much dog poop, Daddy, get to work. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't have a daughter that's telling me that, but when I look out the blinds and I see the poop, I'm like, yep, got to clean it up. So I'm probably going to do it today. And I might do it right after this just to take a mental break from a screen and do that before I dig into UniFi and tear that thing apart. I don't even know if what I'm trying to do is possible, but I have to make it work because this is holding up 2 videos. 2 of them. And I kind of made that clear to UniFi too. It's like, yeah, ironically, I was going to work on some videos, that covered this stuff, but I can't because the stuff's not working. No, I wasn't trying to be Karen, and they don't even know who I am anyways. Actually, the guy said, I watch your videos and I know that your network is pretty complex, so let me know if you need a hand. And I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Rarely get people who know who I am. So anyways, Rune, working on a Discord bot that allows you to give a bot a CSGO matchmaking demos share code. Oh, nice. And you can select the player and round, and the bot will record that player's kills during that round and upload it to Discord. Essentially, a ridiculously easy way to share highlights from your matchmaking match on Discord. Massive projects, developing it in 5 different microservices, meant to be run in a K3S cluster. Man, sounds like my network. sounds like what I do. No, that is awesome. So I mean that is actually, yeah, that is exactly why I started running services in my home and building out infrastructure, is because I wanted to write code and I wanted to do things for other platforms. Like I wanted to write Twitch bots. I wanted to write Discord bots and Twitter bots, and then I wanted to have these microservices running. They didn't start as microservices; they started out as monoliths, and so that's, hey, this one service does everything, and that's great until you have another service that also kind of needs to do everything, and that's when you realize, oh, well, I can factor out this part of it. Maybe it's authentication, maybe it's who knows, whatever, communicating with Discord. And you factor that out and you put it in its own microservice, and then both other services can then communicate with it. So yeah, it's pretty fun. I do very similar things. I don't do things with CSGO or track that stuff, but I totally get it. I totally get exactly what you're doing. It sounds awesome. And then yes, I run my stuff in K3S here too. I have 3 clusters, so sounds fun. That's right up my alley. Sounds fun. Yeah, and I think PC Geek does something similar too for Scum. So yeah, man, you guys are like this. PC Geek is doing all kinds of stuff for a Scum server too, writing bots in Discord and hosting them at home and posting stuff to a Discord channel for sure. Let's see. Okay, guys. Okay, I gotta. All right, I'm gonna have to. Man, there's so much chat today, but I do kind of have to wrap it up because I went a little bit over and I just got the notification that my wife is home too. So let me see. Cyborgium. Hi, Techno Tim. Love your streams and content. My MetaLB service keeps being redeployed. The node that they're mapped to keep every 30-ish minutes, meaning long-term connections fail. Have you experienced anything like this? I haven't personally, but I have heard about this. And I think this was something to do with versions of MetaLB. And if you... I want to ask if you're running my playbook, because this came up a couple of times on the playbook, because people have run my K3S Ansible playbook multiple times, and they actually ran it again to upgrade MetaLB instead of using MetaLB to upgrade MetaLB. They basically just snowplowed the whole thing, and so they ended up with this service that's running from the old version along with the new version. Whereas if you did it through MetaLB, the Helm install, it would have cleaned up all that stuff, but because you snowplowed and did it with Ansible and just saying, hey, go, it didn't. So anyways, because it applied to manifest versus using Helm to do the upgrade and go through the upgrade process that MidLB does. Anyways, long story short, I have heard about it. I guarantee if you go out to my K3S Ansible playbook, I'm not saying you're using it, but if you go out there in GitHub and search the issues list or the discussions there in GitHub, you'll see something similar. And I think it's just you need to clean up something. I think there's like a config map or a service that gets left over between versions. And so, not saying you use my playbook, but it sounds very familiar to what was going on when people were running the playbook twice with different versions of MetaLB. And like I said, not going through the typical upgrade process with Helm or going through the upgrade process with your manifest. It was just basically deploying it twice. And some things get overwritten, but the other things don't get cleaned up because changes between versions. Anyways, long story short, yeah, it sounds familiar. And if you can't find what I'm talking about, ping me in Discord and I'll try to search through that GitHub repo. But I think you'll find your answer probably quicker if you look there, for sure. All right, y'all. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna go here because this looks. Here we go. Stuck on Linux. Hey, my first Techno Tim live stream and watching whilst. This one's always hard for me to say because I totally get it. It's a British thing. Is it whilst or whilst? I think it's whilst. I'm gonna go whilst. Whilst. It's so hard for me to say. I love it though. I love it. Absolutely not making fun of it. I appreciate the differences in languages and dialects, and I love it. I mean, I'm a language person. It's what I studied Japanese for a long time, Spanish, so I love it. Anyways, my first Techno Tim video, my first Techno Tim live stream, and watching whilst. I'm going with whilst. Setting up my pfSense VM. Haven't watched Tim's pfSense video earlier. Going to try switching routers after the stream. Yeah, that's an old one. That was one of my first ones ever. So I'm sorry you had to watch it, but I'm glad you still found it. That was one of my first videos ever on the channel. That had to do with homelab and technology stuff. Well, hey, welcome to your first live stream. I hope it's everything you've imagined, and I hope it's hope you enjoyed your time. And I think that's a good segue to I probably have to wrap it up. But anyways, hope you figured it out. If you're having problems with passing through, there's a lot of passing through going on, especially when you're virtualizing a router. Let me know. Ping me in Discord, and I'll lend a hand if I can, for sure. And a lot of people have done this in Discord too, so I'm not the only one. A lot of people know this a lot better than I do. Okay, sorry, there's so much. All right, last one. I just scrolled until I saw a name I didn't really recognize. So here we go. Petru. I'm going with Petru. Hi, everyone. I am in IT world, so more than 5 years. And from my eyes, there are lots of companies these days, and every single one of them uses different languages, different tools. I totally agree. So it's hard for me to find something that I can do, and also hard for me to stick with something and develop more skills into that. Can you please give me any advice on how to choose the best flow to go with? Right now, I'm studying a bachelor's degree. This kind of goes into what I was talking about earlier. About, choosing things you like. But this is a little bit different. This is saying, hey, like all these companies use all different tools, all different languages, and I have no idea what to even study so I can get into some of these. And you'll run into this a lot. You'll run into this if you're going to be a software developer, anyone in IT. I mean, they're going to have different systems. They're going to have purchase systems. They're going to have homegrown systems. And then they're going to have the job posting that says they do all this cool stuff. But when you get there, you find out that those things kind of exist or may or may not exist yet. So it depends. I would say if you I'll go back. I'll give you some career advice. So if you're just starting out and you have the opportunity to join a large company, I absolutely would. I would get that early on in your career. Join a big company that has lots of technology, that does lots of different things, that has lots of different departments, like, Fortune, 100, 200 company that is really investing in their people and their technology. Because that not only will give you lots of opportunities within, but it'll help you network with people that you might meet later on. But for sure, it will absolutely help you learn and grow into different technologies. And what I've learned I've worked at a lot of big companies. What I've learned is after you're there for a certain period of time, people will start choosing when there are job openings, people might choose the person over the skill. Because a lot of people think, or at least this is what I hear in a lot of interviews and what we've even hired for before, was they just want to show someone who has technical aptitude and a passion or the ability to learn, the ability to learn. And so for them, for a lot of people, that's more important than already having the skill, but not the passion or the desire to go deeper, to figure stuff out or whatever. So, I mean, if you are in that early stage or you haven't joined a company yet and you are open to joining a big company, I would say do it, because they're going to have all kinds of support for new people. They know that new hires aren't going to have any of the skills that they're expecting. They're not going to know any of the stacks or anything that they're doing. And so a lot of times those bigger companies have support networks in place to train new hires. Where you get to meet other new hires and build a community of new hires. It's almost like you're kind of in school again, and now you're this new class together in this new company, and build relationships with people. So you notice that I said a lot of people stuff. So I would focus more on where you wanted to work and kind of what you want to do, because you nailed it. Like, every company is different. Every company is different. I mean, I just learned this. Our company got acquired. Totally different stack. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't expect me to do some of that stuff, because I have no idea how to do that stuff. I've been on this stack for 5 years, and our company got acquired. Now there's this whole entire stack that I, know very little about. So I feel you. It happens. And that's kind of life. And that's why I'm saying go with a really big company, because then you have a lot of options. If it works out and you like what you're doing, you can go even deeper on what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, a lot of those companies will help you get to where you want to be. And a lot of bigger companies, like I keep mentioning bigger companies, a lot of them have programs in place to help you get to where you want to be, because they want you to be successful, because they know if you're successful, they're successful. So yeah, I guess that's my my one piece of career advice, especially for new hires. If you're just getting out of college and you're not sure, I would say, look for a company you respect and figure out what you want to do there later, but try to get into that company, because I think you'll be happier working for a company that you're excited about, and maybe some tech that you're not so excited about, or language that you don't really know, versus going with a company that you don't know or not excited about, but it's exactly the language you want to learn. I don't know. I've switched languages 3-4 times in my career, and there might be another one coming soon. Who knows? I've done .NET, I've done VB.NET, so I've done C#, I've done JavaScript, I've done Java, I've done Kotlin, now back on JavaScript and TypeScript. So, a lot of the times you can't choose a technology stack. And I've seen a lot of people trying to change technology stacks when they get to this place, and then it just ends up in a weird situation, because it becomes us against them, and you don't want that at all. Anyways, this is a lot of like random career advice or experiences that I've had in the past. But again, at the end of the day, pick a company you're excited about. Everything else, I feel like, will fall into place. And when those opportunities open up in areas that you're passionate about, and they see you're passionate about that, even if you don't have the most experience, a lot of times those companies will give you the opportunity. So they said that's how it worked for me. So your mileage may vary. Anyways, hey, man, thank you guys all so much for being here. I apologize I went way over. Just babbling about career advice, because I've done a lot of different stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully it helps. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here on Saturday. Sorry I went a little bit over. This is sounding like all my meetings, except for the meeting I had yesterday at work. I ended 4 minutes early, and I felt good about it. This one, I'm about 15 minutes late to it and about 15 minutes over. Pretty typical. So anyways, thank you so much. If you have more questions, or want to talk with people, or want to get some advice, or need some direction, or want to see if anyone's ever used XYZ tech because you're thinking about XYZ tech, we have a Discord full of 8,000 people who are also excited about technology, who talk about this kind of stuff all the time, or talk about career advice. It happens. Believe me, it happens in Discord quite a bit, almost as much as normal tech stuff. And life stuff in general too happens there too. So not just all tech. So if you're curious, yeah, absolutely join. It's just !Discord. You could find it in the links below, or you can go to, technotim.live and click on that Discord button there too, and that'll get you right in. And so appreciate it. I'll probably be in Discord later if my internet comes back up, because I'm about to go slay the UniFi dragon here in a little bit. Wish me luck. I need some buffs and some armor buffs. I don't know. This is getting weird because trying to relate to an RPG. Anyways, I will be back Saturday for sure. I'm trying to get something out very soon. If not Saturday, for sure. I will have something out both live and produced. So have a great Saturday. Hope the weather is improved. I think it is for most people starting today-ish, tomorrow-ish. So I hope it gets better. Thank you so much. There was follows, there was bits, there was subs, there was resubs. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, I'll be in Discord later if you need me. So anyways, have a happy rest of the Saturday, and take care. Be good to each other. Take care, folks.